Can I tell you something? I absolutely love audio interfaces. I don't know what it is. Well, an interface is the hub of your studio, and it's one of the most difficult pieces of gear to buy. I did a video here on this channel where I compared 10 different audio interfaces, and it's done really well. So I field a lot of questions on a weekly basis from people wondering what the best unit would be for their needs. Now, one thing I always say is spend within your means. Don't go into debt buying an interface you think you're going to need down the road. I'd argue that the audio interface is probably the #1 piece of gear that gets swapped out more often than not as your studio grows. In the first 4 years of existence of this studio, I've changed my interface about 3 times. And it's not because of any of them broke, it's just because my requirements changed and I just needed to move along and add some functionality. And that's okay. You know, if you've got a starter studio and you've got a 2-input interface and suddenly you get a call from someone that wants to record drums and you're like, your hands are kind of tied. So you might be looking to bump up your functionality by buying an interface that has more inputs. Now, interfaces with 8 inputs or more tend to start to move up in scale in terms of price. So it's something that you may need to consider when looking to purchase that new interface. And that's what we're going to be talking about here today. Icon Pro Audio is known for their DAW controllers. The QCon Pro G2 and extender here on my desk have been the centerpiece of my studio for a couple of years now, and it's been a very reliable piece of gear. Absolutely love it. Now, many people here in the North American marketplace are not familiar with the additional product lines that Icon actually has, and one of which is audio interfaces, and that's what I'm going to be showing you today. I got an advanced look at the UMIX1010. This is a 10-in, 10-out interface. We've got 8 analog inputs plus 2 digital inputs with a lot of really interesting features. And what's really exciting about this is that this is going to be introduced at a price point that's going to turn some heads. And for a lot of you smaller studios that are looking to expand your capabilities, this is going to be something to keep your eye out for, because suddenly you're going to have a lot more inputs in your studio and you're going to be surprised how affordable this thing is. So if you want to learn more about the UMIX1010, then join me for this episode of I Don't Have a Band right now. Hey there, I'm Dan, the self-proclaimed Lonely Rocker. Thanks for joining me for this episode of I Don't Have a Band. This is the series devoted to the home studio musician, the home studio producer, home recording musician. I'm committed to getting my hands on as much software and hardware as I can to review it and present it to you guys. I'm always looking out for great tools, great products to help my fellow home studio enthusiasts. And that's what this series is all about, so thanks for joining me. Today, as I mentioned in the opening, we're taking a look at Icon Pro Audio's UMIX1010 Rack. This is a rack-mountable audio interface with 10 inputs and 10 outputs. Now, before I get into the details of this unit, I wanted to throw a word at you, and that word is compromise. When looking for an audio interface, I find that I'm always making some kind of compromise. And I don't mean that as a negative. Unless you have an unlimited budget and you're a full-fledged studio, there's always some kind of compromise with audio interfaces. I'll explain as we get further into this video. Okay, let's jump into the features of the UMIX1010 Rack. Now, in terms of price, it hasn't been officially released in North America yet, but I've been told that the street price is going to be well under $500. In fact, it'd probably be closer to $400. Once you see all the features that this interface has to offer, that's really going to make this unit very competitive in the marketplace. The UMIX1010 supports sample rates up to 192 kilohertz. At this price point, that's a really flexible device. It gives you a lot of options from 44.1 all the way up to 192. It has 8 analog inputs, 8 analog outputs, plus 2 digital in and out via the SPDIF connection on the back. Every input has its own preamp with its individual gain control, plus individual phantom power. That's a really great feature. Now, talking about those compromises, the interface that I'm currently using, a really great interface. It's an 8-input interface, but it only has 4 preamps. And then in terms of phantom power, engaging phantom power actually turns it on for 2 channels. So if you want to have, for example, 3 condenser microphones and 1 dynamic, you just can't do it because you can only go 2 and 2 as engaging phantom power. It turns it on for 2 channels, not 1. So having individual phantom power control makes this very flexible. Also, having 8 individual preamps is really great because, as I said, on my unit, which is about probably more than twice the price of this unit, you've only got 4 preamps. The additional 4 inputs require an additional preamp. If you're looking to have 8 inputs on your system, that's a consideration because that will add to the cost to give you true 8 inputs for your recording system. In addition to the audio IOs, you've got 16 MIDI channels in and out as well. That's another compromise that I see in a lot of interfaces. Well, some will have the MIDI ins and outs and some won't. So having both MIDI and the audio in and outs gives you a lot of options with this interface. Another great feature on the UMIX1010 is it has 2 headphone outs. That's a really great feature and something that's often overlooked. I promised myself after my last purchase that I would never buy an interface that had less than 2 headphone outs. Now, I do mix on speakers, but I like to reference with different headphones. For example, Icon's HP600s. I will reference on different types of headphones just to get different reference points for my mixes. Also, you could have your set of headphones set up to 1 headphone out, and you can send the second one out to a headphone mixer, and that'll give you even more headphone outs if you require that in your studio. But having 2 independent headphone outs with their own volume controls is a really great feature. I should mention that this is a USB 2.0 device, so it's going to have support across most Windows and Mac machines. Also, it's plug and play. There were no drivers to install. I just plugged it into my system. I have another interface installed on this particular computer, and there was absolutely no conflicts. So really, it's so simple to install. Just plug it in and it's good to go. The last main feature I want to touch on is the ProDrive system. Now, I'm only going to just touch on this because ProDrive IV is in development. It's going to be coming out soon. And as soon as I have that in my hands, I'm going to share that with you guys. But that's a software application that ships with all of their audio interfaces and unlocks additional features. In a time where many of us have YouTube channels or podcasts or vlogging or live streaming, ProDrive IV allows you to mix different input sources and even lets you bring in your audio plugins. This is a really great feature for me, and it's one of the reasons why I was really interested in this particular interface is because I do a lot of demonstrations on this channel, and I found it very cumbersome sometimes when I'm trying to do it in real time, especially when I'm demoing plugins and different audio devices. So in this case, I can create a mix within ProDrive IV, and then I can send that to my DAW. And in the future, I'm going to be looking to do more live streaming where I want to bring in some other audio examples, samples, music, and things like that. You can mix that all through ProDrive IV. Like I said, you can record it into your DAW and then mix it later. And that's something that I'm really looking forward to trying. But as soon as I get that in my hands, I'm going to share that with you guys. Overall, I'm really excited about this audio interface. In my application here, I'm looking to set up a secondary system that's going to work in parallel with my main recording system. As I said, for my YouTube channel, I need to start bringing in multiple sources, and this is a very, very flexible unit. It installed cleanly, like I said, without any drivers, plugged it in, it's plug and play, good to go. USB 2.0, I can install it on any one of my computers. I do have a few here in the studio. And that's great, really simple to install. A really solid construction. That's something that I've noticed with all Icon products. I mean, I've got the QCon Pro here with the EXG2. I mean, this thing is solid. The UMIX1010 is built to the same standards. The knobs on it are, good resistance there, good quality components. You put that in your rack, it's going to last for a long time. Really highlights for me, individual phantom power control across all of the input channels. Like I said, that's a compromise I've seen on a lot of other interfaces. I've even seen some interfaces where engaging the phantom power actually engages it for 4 inputs. In this case, you've got 8 individual analog inputs, all with their own phantom power control, individual gain control. You've got the 1/4-inch inputs on the front, XLR on the back, and you've got the 8 outputs as well on the back, plus the additional 2 and 2 via SPDIF. And really, I can't wait to get my hands on ProDrive IV. Once that's available, I'll definitely do another video. The two together, I'm really excited to see how I can bring together different sources in real time. That's been a real sore spot for me here in the studio, and that's the additional functionality that I'm looking to add, and I'll definitely have that here as soon as that's available. Well, there you have the UMIX1010 Rack from Icon Pro Audio. Really excited about this device, and like I said, I can't wait to get my hands on ProDrive IV. That's the ultimate experience that I'm looking for and the additional functionality that I want here in my studio, and that's on its way, and I'm truly excited about that. Anyways, I hope you found that interesting. I'm going to put links to Icon in the description so you can follow Icon and get information yourself as soon as this unit becomes available in your area. Other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions. Just leave those in the comment. Anyways, if you're new to the channel, I hope I've earned a subscribe. You can just hit that subscribe button and come along for the ride. I've got a lot of videos on this channel revolving around this home studio, gear, software reviews, a lot of helpful videos to help you improve your home studio. And also I'm meeting a lot of different people in the industry and just sharing my experiences. So just hit that subscribe button and come along for the ride. If you really want to support this channel, I am on Patreon. Links to everything I've discussed are in the description below. And above all else, I hope I'll see you again in another video. As always, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And please like, subscribe, and ring that bell to stay up to date. Remember, you don't need a band to rock and roll. There are a lot of great musical projects you can do by yourself, right from your own home. I hope to see you again next time.